One more question. That was a comment, but this is a question. And you know, I have been dealing with this because a lot of times God allows things to happen in our life, and it's for His perfect will, so that He gets the glory. But I understand that He sent John the Baptist to prepare the way for Jesus Christ, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the devil was trying to kill John the Baptist and Jesus, and he felt like that was a victory that he would have in order to kill them or stop them or hinder them from doing the will of God. My question was, why would God allow John the Baptist to be beheaded by Herod? More so Herodias.
Well, God allows a lot of things, you know. I mean, that's an age-old question. Like, that's an age-old question, you know. And really, it starts at the book of Job, you know, and that's the age-old question. Why would God allow Job to suffer? You see. And of course, we read about that. Well, one of the reasons why God allows things is He wants us who are living to prepare ourselves so that we'll be willing to give up our lives, if that make any sense. Amen. God allowed, I mean, of course, John the Baptist was beheaded. It had a lot of them, you know. Paul was beheaded. The only apostle of the original that wasn't killed, so to speak, besides Judas, who committed suicide, was John. You know, the author of John, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John in the book of Revelation. He was the only one that died a natural death. In other words, lived to be an old man and just died of natural causes. The rest of them were killed. But, you know, this Bible makes it clear that when we live for God, we have to be willing to lay our life down. We have to be prepared to die for this word. John the Baptist died because he told, you know, a man, that Philip, that it wasn't lawful for him to have his brother's wife. You see? And, of course, she got... Herodias, she got upset about it, and you know, she didn't like it, and at some point she held on to it, and so of course her daughter danced for him, and she was pleased. He was so pleased that he told him, I'll give you a kingdom, up to a third or half of my kingdom, you know. And so she went and asked her mother, and you know, instead of accepting riches, she wanted that head, you know. It just shows you, it gives you a picture of what people think about truth being preached. All John the Baptist did was tell the truth. You know, it's not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. Basically, you're going to die and go to hell if you don't change that situation. Well, if that was a picture of what people think about truth, you know. Something that was truth is designed to save lives, but people will rush to death and then kill people who preach it. And so God allowed that to happen, you know, well, number one, because He's not the God of this world. The devil is. Mm-hmm. And see, that's why we become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. You see, why does God allow babies to be killed in the earth? Because He doesn't violate free will. You see that? It was somebody's free will for John the Baptist to be killed. And listen, John the Baptist didn't leave here kicking and screaming. He had said, when basically, I've already prepared the way. I must decrease while He increase. And so here is our main objective. When we have done what God have called us to do, regardless of how we leave here, we should just be ready to leave, you see. He didn't think about the last thing that we hear from John the Baptist. He sent his disciples to ask Jesus, are you the one to come, or should we look for another? He wanted to be sure, not that he was doubting. He wanted to be sure that his ministry was over so that he could leave here in peace. Why? Because if Jesus wasn't the one, okay, well, I'm going to get out of this situation and I'm going to just keep preparing the way for the one, you see. And so that was closure for him. I've prepared the way for the one. Now I can leave here because I've done what I've been called to do, you see. And so when we have finished our course, we just have to be willing to leave here, you know. I mean, and it's just one of those things where God just allows things. It's not that things are His perfect will, you know, or anything like that. His perfect will was the Garden of Eden. You see that? Where death wouldn't come to anybody, you see. But once we broke that, then, you know, of course, now the devil has room to get in there and to bring some deciding factors, you see. And so he just allows those things. But here's one thing: once we get on that other side, the devil doesn't have any more
Power.
yeah, you see. And so that's one thing that the Lord wants us to understand. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I said, praise God.
Amen.